What's up, Fuster Cluck fans? Just want to hop on here nearing the end of the year to say thank you so much for all of the support and give you a little skinny on what I'm expecting to do in the new year. So I'm currently trying to book several guests in the process of honing in on some dates. I really wanted to do some solo episodes to give you all a little bit more of a learning about me for people who are listening that don't know me. So number one, trying to get on some more health advocate stories, people who've lived through something and lived to tell about it and want to share what they've done, what's worked for them with you. Of course, a little bit more from my own crazy mind to share with you. Trying to get somebody to come on and talk about his experience as a leader in the sales space and advice that he has for people who are struggling in jobs where they feel like they're at a dead end, things that they can do, a different perspective they can take as they start to figure out ways that they could break out of that cycle. Also working on booking a real, true, board certified integrative medicine MD, an actual MD, which is my understanding these board certified integrative medical practitioners are few and far between. So I'm really excited to have him on. He's a wealth of knowledge, totally brilliant guy. I also wanted to come on after posting about my most recent episode on maternity leave or the lack thereof in this country and point out a few things. I did make some notes here because I want to get this right. And I just want to really point out some things and remind everybody, why am I doing this podcast? Why do I think that this is important? Number one, I'm having the best time ever. I really feel like in some way this is my calling. Every time I sit down to record, I absolutely love what I'm doing. I'm really just feeling empowered by it. You know, some people like golfing, I like podcasting. So, reminder of what is my intention behind What a Fuster Cluck. Why did I start this podcast? I started this podcast to point out that things are indeed a true Fuster Cluck. Use your imagination. You guys know what I'm trying to say there. But I want to be able to kick off the conversations that start to find the silver lining. One of my missions before the next election cycle is to reach out to people with whom I disagree and start to learn more from those people in an effort to find middle ground and common ground. Because I think that politicians today do a really good job of raising the temperature, getting that clickbait, and keeping us divided. And at the end of the day, when you go outside and you drop your kids off at school, or you're at the local sports game with your kids or whatever, we're all just here trying to live our lives and do the best that we can with what we have, while our government just manages to continuously F things up for us. So yeah, what a Fuster Cluck. The second thing that I really want to do, that's one of my goals, is to just spark curiosity. I'm going to say a lot of things that eventually I'm going to need to correct myself on. I will only be able to correct those things by hearing from you, which I'm starting to hear from you. And I really love that. The messages that I'm getting, 90% of the messages I get are great. Some of the comments I get are, quite frankly, shitty and rude, abrasive. And I really just have to look at those and just brush them off. Like, keyboard warriors are a real thing. There are people out there that are just living a dark, depressed, bitter, ugly life. And they love to hop online and not say anything of substance, but to call you an idiot, a moron, an asshole, or gross. Just a few things that I've been called. But again, 90% of this stuff is amazing. So I love that. So spark curiosity and learn myself, correct myself. Third thing, again, ignite conversations that could one day lead to actual change, because I really believe that we the people still matter, and it's not too late to reverse course here and try to fix some of what is happening in our American society and in our American culture. I don't know all the answers. Again, I'm going to say some crazy things that can be completely debunked or proven wrong. And that's why it's important that I hear from you, because don't let me just be out there saying wild stuff that's completely like unfounded, even if I believe it to be true. Reach out to me, let me know. And so for the people that are doing that, I appreciate you, and please keep that coming. Where did that come from? So I recently posted an episode about my thoughts on America, our culture, our society, and how it's always like more, which is one of the reasons why we became a successful nation so quickly. But I think we are seeing in the numbers and the evidence that we are moving away from the family unit and the importance of the family unit and the importance of having babies, bringing babies into this world, and being able to bond with your babies, right? Which is so crucial in my opinion. And so I had talked about federal paid maternity leave. Now, what I don't think I did in the episode, and I listened to it myself when I'm editing it, is I don't think I said that federal paid maternity leave was the answer. I was just talking about it from the perspective of other countries that are developed countries have some kind of a program that benefits mothers at their federal level, let's call it. Now, I had someone on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, who sent a great message reminding me exactly why we don't want federal paid maternity leave, because we don't want the government dictating to mothers what supplements they have to take if they want to get the paid leave coverage, what vaccines they have to put into their bodies. The list goes on and on. But I do think that we could do better at the private sector and even at the local and state level, right, for our mothers, because there is nothing more important if you are a woman who has decided to have babies or adopt babies or foster children. There is nothing more important than that bonding time, and 6 weeks, quite frankly, is just not enough, which is what a lot of organizations will actually give. And 12 weeks on FMLA, again, I just really still feel like when you look at a 3-month-old baby, it's not enough. Now, I would be a proponent of something ranging from 6 to 12 months, but that's a conversation for another day. Again, my episode was to spark the conversation, to hear from other people and get ideas, because who knows what 10 years holds for me, you guys? Who knows what 15 years, what 20 years holds? Maybe I will run for office one day, because there's still a lot of us out there that really feel like we could make some change. So what I'm learning from the feedback I'm getting from this podcast is going to help me in the next stage of my life, because at the end of the day, I just want to help. I'm not here to be divisive or to add to the already major culture wars that we have going on in this country. That's not my goal. So I just really want to be clear about that. The other goal of my podcast is to satisfy my nearly insatiable curiosity and longing to never stop learning. I am an information junkie. I have certifications and degrees out the wazoo, some of which I never even use, but I'm just like a perpetual student. I really love learning, but more importantly, I love applying. So when I learn something new, I feel like sharing that knowledge with other people is such a value, is such a gift. So that's one of the other goals of the podcast, which is why it's a variety podcast, you guys. That's why it's like all over the place. If Joe Rogan can be successful with it, other people can too. I'm not saying I'm Joe Rogan by any stretch of the imagination, but I am not at a point where I'm ready to be pigeonholed and select just one niche. But I think you can see the theme that's weaving through some of the things and some of the topics that I want to cover and continue to cover on the show. My other goal, again, offer nuanced perspective. I am very blessed and fortunate in that I grew up in the tri-state area in a melting pot of a town surrounded by immigrants of all different races, ethnicities, colors, cultures, the whole 9 yards. And so I can tell you what that human experience looks like. And also coming from a big family with a tumultuous background, I didn't have it the worst growing up. I certainly wouldn't say I had it the best. If you've listened to my podcast, you already know this. So I firmly believe that I can bring a really nuanced and fair perspective to a lot of the things I'm saying. I was at one point a raging liberal, radical feminist. I am now much more of a centrist, okay? And I think my podcast and just me as a person really speak to that. Lastly, I want to be able to share information from real everyday people, the health struggles they faced, as I mentioned, things they've overcome, depression, menopause, anxiety, cancer, diabetes, chronic pain, like just whatever. And that information is so helpful to all of us. So the good news is this is only the beginning. 2025 was such a good year to What a Fuster Cluck. I'm so grateful. I feel very blessed to be able to do this podcast. I'm really looking forward to 2026, and I'm just wishing you all a very happy, healthy holiday season. Thank you for the continued support. Please like, share, subscribe, and send me emails. whatafusterclucklk.com. whatafusterclucklk@gmail.com. Keep them coming. Without your feedback, I can't improve myself. So I really love hearing from you. Thank you all. Happy holidays.